They're already running around meowing. So pathetic. Ben, this isn't helping. You standing on the Xbox is not helping. Can you not? Thank you. He thinks that's getting him fed faster. Assure him it's not. Oop. Yeah. It does this. And there we go. So I'm actually going to go ahead and load the save and I'll leave it up with Shepard in view. So you don't have to see that goofy cutscene from the beginning. From an event that doesn't actually happen in the game. I never trust that resume button. Probably just should. Alright, so we'll be back in about 3 more minutes as I feed the cats and run to the restroom and throw up BRB. Shepard. And we're back. When you beat the game once, you get to keep all of the, basically it saves all the powers from the class you just beat the game as, and when you make a new character, it's basically a new game plus, they let you pick one power from a class you've already played as to get bonus training in. So I've beaten this with every class. I've beaten it with Infiltrator, so I was able to do Sniper Rifle training on a Vanguard. I haven't actually used it very much. Might actually just start putting some points into it so I can. I'm gonna go wrap up some of the final side quests here. What's up, K-Dog? We let Ashley die by vote of the stream. Tommy's very unhappy with my wife.
Anything you need, Commander?
I wanted to see how you're dealing with Ash's death.
Dealing, ma'am. Sorry for anything I said back there. Adrenaline.
I understand. I don't like losing people either.
I've served for years, but never lost a soldier under my command. Not to hostile action, anyway. If you don't mind my asking, how did you deal with the losses on Elysium?
Yeah, you may as well. You get quite a bit of stuff for it. You get like a pretty big experience boost based on the achievements you've unlocked.
It was my job to get everyone out safe. I failed. I vowed not to let that happen again. Same here. I'll remember her, and I'll do better for her.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do. Thanks for the advice, ma'am.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I didn't figure you'd have time to talk with all that's going on. After-action debriefs. What we found out about Sovereign.
The paperwork will keep. Something on your mind?
I'm just looking for an ear. The debriefing wasn't the right place to say how ridiculous this is. Seems like every other race in the galaxy is wrapped up in their own problems. They don't want to see what's coming.
Wanting to believe everything will be fine? Sounds like human nature to me.
Yeah, I guess some things carry across species well enough. I should remember that after what happened with Vernus.
I think you'd carry a grudge over the crap you took from Vernus.
Before I met Vernus, I knew as much as any other civilian. Aliens were weird, superior, and tried to tell us what to do. I mean, it's only been 26 years since first contact. That's not a lot of time to understand them. But it was Vernus who made me see how human aliens are. They're not different or special. They're jerks and saints, just like us. Hell, by the time I got payback, I didn't even want it anymore.
I don't see you snapping very easily. What finally did it?
He hurt a girl, broke her arm. She reached for a glass of water instead of pulling it biotically. She just wanted a drink without getting a nosebleed, you know? Like an idiot, I stood up. Didn't know what I was gonna do, just something. And Vernus lost it. Beat the crap out of me. Kept shouting how they should have bombed us back to the Stone Age. And that's when the knife came up. A military-issue talon, right in my face. I cut loose. Full biotic kick right in the teeth. Almost as strong as I can manage now. At 17, that's something.
Tapping that deep must have shocked the hell out of you.
Not as much as it shocked Vernus. It killed him. Snapped his neck. They probably could have saved him if they got him to an infirmary quick enough. But they didn't. Caused a stir when they shipped him home. Bot training was shut down. Kinetics folded a couple of years later. So, yeah, maybe I hated that Turian. I mean, if one ass was enough to judge a whole race, I'd hate humans too.
So if you didn't remember, Caden is a biotic. He's an early biotic, so he has early implants that give him nasty side effects like headaches. He attended this biotic training school. Humans have only been in like the Milky Way outside of their own solar system for a few decades. It's kind of an impressive, unique feature about Mass Effect. Most space fantasy is set very, very far in the past or very, very far in the future. Anyway, though, there was this Turian instructor that the humans hired to run the facility, and he was an ass, and Caden killed him, apparently.
A reasonable stance. keep that level head and we'll do fine.
Staying reasonable is about all we've got left. Everyone else in this galaxy seems to have gone out of their minds. Present company accepted, of course.
Caden's not that bad. He's a little whiny, but that was a pretty good conversation from him.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I've been thinking about Saren. I actually feel a little sorry for him now.
He's become a slave to the Reapers, and he can't even see it.
He is trapped inside his own mind.
Hey, Jayon. How's it going, man?
Senses his identity slowly being swallowed up by Sovereign, but he is powerless to stop it. I wonder how he first fell into Sovereign's trap. Did he think he could somehow stop the Reapers from returning? Or was he simply driven by a lust for power and glory?
Whatever Saren's reasons may have been, they're long gone now. He has to be stopped.
Ah, Sean. Yes, they do. And I will show you right after this conversation. That's a great question.
Yes, I suppose you're right. He may be Sovereign's victim, but he is also a threat to all life as we know it. Let's not spend every free minute talking about Saren. It is bad enough we are chasing him across the galaxy.
I like talking with you, Liara, no matter what the subject.
Doing well,
Then
Jayon.
let us talk about you. Are you okay?
I'm not sleeping well. The visions keep me up at night.
I wish there was something I could do to help you. You need to be at your best, Commander. The crew relies on you for leadership. It can be a heavy burden.
There's nothing wrong with me.
Of course, Commander. Please, forget I even brought it up.
We
Let's
agreed
talk
to
about
be
something else.
Renegade to Liara.
I should go.
Also, chat voted
Goodbye,
to
Commander.
not have any romance in Mass Effect 1. We'll revisit that in Mass Effect 2. Alright, so Sean wants to know, does the game address translation? And D-Rock's actually pretty close with the Babelfish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Human cultures remain linguistically divided. Some converge in Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, Swahili, and so on, and every alien race has their own broad panoply of languages and dialects. Most individuals know only their mother tongue and rely on machine translation. Modern portable computers allow anyone with a few hundred credits of equipment to enjoy seamless real-time translation of alien languages, courtesy of PDAs, Omni tools, computers and clothing, subdermal implants. Without this kind of accurate translation, galactic trading culture would not exist. Governments tend to provide the subsidized software and update it through the extranet on the fly, usually as people approach spaceports. Even the Batarians, who love their language and hate the rest of society, take pains to keep updating their glossaries. It's still considered broad-minded to be able to speak without machine aid, so kids often take courses in an alien language. There's an artificial trade tongue, kind of like Esperanto. Some species must rely on machine translation to interact with the rest of the galaxy. This is important. The Hanar cannot reproduce the spoken language of any humanoid species, and other races cannot reproduce Hanar bioluminescence. So the way that Hanar actually talk is they glow. When you hear a Hanar talking, the reason it sounds delayed like that is that's actually their translator that you're hearing in your head that's reproducing it for you. So yeah, so you'll notice that codex is actually part of the Bring Down the Sky DLC. That's why it says update. It was like one of the #1 questions that people had. This game does a really good job of addressing just about every question you could have about how this universe works, but somehow they forgot to mention translation. So I was glad that they added that codex entry. I've been subjecting everybody to... Oh, Captain Kiri. What's up, buddy?
It was an honor working with you, Commander Shepard. Despite the losses, our mission was a success. My superiors will duly honor Chief Williams for her actions. Her sacrifice has earned humanity a great deal of respect.
Right, they do that funny lampshade hang on the whole smear Omnigel on a door to get it to open. They do a pretty good job with it. I'm impressed.
Ash was a hell of a soldier. She knew what the risks were, but she did what she had to.
Of course. The grim reality that every soldier must accept. Rest assured, Commander, my men and I will not forget what you have accomplished here. We will leave your ship as soon as you reach your next destination. Perhaps we'll have
Remember
the
Captain
opportunity to work
Curie.
together again someday.
Commander, things got heated back on Vermeer. You did what you had to do. I
Right,
respect
so when
your
EA
choice.
gave the edict, like, you guys need to make this more like a shooter, you need to add ammo into the game. They didn't just do it and not address it, they actually gave an in-universe reason for why they changed it. It makes sense. We'll talk about it when we get to it in Mass Effect 2.
I appreciate what you did, Rex. I won't forget it.
Just make sure it was worth it. Saren has to pay for what he's done.
Crispy Critters, welcome.
We'll have him soon enough. Then he can answer for his crimes.
He'll do more than just answer if I have it.
Yeah, I hear that, Jehan. I've never found a interesting way to introduce language
Rex.
barriers into
Shepard.
D&D or tabletop gaming in general. I got what you meant.
Commander, I wanted to thank you
What for, Garrus?
for everything. Taking me with you, letting me be part of your team. I've learned a lot. I've thought a lot about what you've told me, about not sacrificing innocence to achieve the goal, about finding the best way through, not just the fastest. And I've been thinking about Dr. Salion too. I'd convinced myself that he deserved to die, but then I started thinking about why I wanted him dead. I realized it wasn't because of what he did to those people. That was part of it, but I think most of it was because he got away from me. He escaped under my watch, and I didn't like that. I let it become personal.
Yeah, well, first of all, so Garrus is Paragon because Stream voted to influence him as a Paragon. I can just tell you, without explaining the lore reason for it, basically the way that it works in Mass Effect 2 and 3 is that what your ammo is are actually these like heat canisters that you have in your gun that like collect the excess heat, and then you eject the heat canister so that you can fire more quickly without overheating. However, the only plot hole in it is that you can't keep firing the gun when you run out of heat tank canisters. That makes sense. That's a cool idea as a mechanic. But you should still be able to keep firing and just have the overheat problem once you run out of ammo. The game doesn't let you do that. That's really the only issue with it.
Words mean nothing until you turn them into action, Garrus. What are you gonna do about it?
They give an in-universe reason for why they did that,
I think I can make a difference.
which I'll get to when we play it.
I'll also reapply for Spectre training, but I'll do it right. I won't compromise myself to get there. If the people I'm sworn to protect can't trust me, then I don't deserve to be the one protecting them.
I'm glad you see it that way. Keep that in mind when we meet Saren.
Don't worry, Commander.
It was a shame they changed it because the lore explanation for the way the guns work in Mass Effect 1 was so cool. Like, there's just this like thick block of metal inside of the gun, and it shaves off like a super tiny little slice of it, and then just it accelerates it via Mass Effect fields. It doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be like explosive ammo, so you have effectively infinite ammo. Yeah, that's all they really needed to do, and say like, hey, we did this as like an improvement, but maybe when you run out of ammo, you can still keep firing. That would have been fine.
Hey, Shepard. You need something?
Why hasn't she given me her quest? Oh, let me...
What was your father like?
It wasn't. But now I'm old enough. I think my father took it.
We need to bring her
I
with
mean,
us
I
on a
know
mission or
that,
something
but
to get...
like what?
I wanna
This is presented as. It's not.
We've already
that-
talked about most of this,
I wanna
so...
talk about
Like
something.
what? See you later.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring her on a quest real quick. I'm surprised she hasn't given us her side quest yet. Maybe it's only after Noveria, but that doesn't seem right. Yeah, we don't have one that says Tali. Hmm. Let me go do some of these Cerberus side quests in the meantime. Okay, Jehan. If you hear of a tabletop system that does alien language or different languages interestingly, let me know. They do not, nor does Ashley. Ryan, you'll unlock the first dungeon at level 15 as part of the main story. The main story will actually send you there. So keep following the quests that have the little meteor icon on them, and it will queue you up for it. Call of Cthulhu is a great system. It's the Armstrong Nebula we want for Tali's missions. Gagarin is named for Yuri Gagarin, the Russian cosmonaut, first man in space.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander, I'm glad you were in the area. We've got an emergency situation, and you're the only one I can trust to get the job done.
How can I help, Admiral?
Biotic fanatics have hit a medical research station with a psychotropic drug. The drugs have temporarily driven researchers crazy, and the biotics are effectively using them as human shields.
Yeah, I might do that this week, Kami, with my wife Andrea in Delaware. I have some extra time to play in the evening, so I might get on with Haypax and Matt and see how far we can take it.
So if I shoot everything that moves, a lot of researchers are gonna die.
Exactly. A normal team could handle the biotics, but a lot of innocent researchers would die during the operation. That's why I contacted you. I'm hoping you can keep the casualties to a minimum.
I'll do everything within my power to bring those researchers back safely, Admiral.
I know you will, Commander. I'm sending you the station coordinates now. Fifth Fleet out.
Surveyors found the ruins of a technical civilization near the equator, evidently the colony of an ancient spacefaring race. Ruins had subsided to almost nothing, merely wind-hollowed husks of arcologies and other megastructures. In the center of the ruins was a single column whose inscriptions defied translation for several centuries. Monsters from the Id. Cool. Admiral Hackett's awesome. He's Lance Henriksen, the guy who played Bishop in the Aliens movie, among many other great works. Crude anchorage for Terminus pirates. Terminus pirates drill through the ice for alcohol. Missing Krogan Admiral. Interesting. Oh, this is cool. So this is a binary planet system. They're orbiting each other super closely, and eventually they're going to rip each other apart. That's a really cool idea. And keep the dream team. We're not going to land on every single planet in the game. Yeah, check this out. This is so cool. That's another planet that's captured in this one's orbit, and they're just orbiting around each other, and they're going to eventually crash into each other and tear each other apart. I love this game. It's so easy to get immersed in this universe. Alright, let's see where we go. We want the Overrun Research Outpost. Hey, welcome back, Jahan. So cool. the planets you can land on in Mass Effect 2 are quite cool. I enjoy the Mako, although at some point it's all rocky worlds that you're just driving over. You don't get a lot of like land features. I like they went with a level structure in Mass Effect 2 where like, you know, there's one really cool level that kind of defines the way that Mass Effect 2 designs their planet side quests, where it's like this ancient huge frigate that's like teetering on the edge of a cliff, and you just explore it solo, and as you move on it, it's just teetering further and further off the edge. It's really neat. One roll engine, let me write that down, Jahan. Cool. Yeah, I guess it's, I've never seen it handled mechanically, only with just the flavor. Hey, Mine for Fish, how's it going, dude? Sounds good. I'll let you be. Wrapping up some of the final side quests here. Trying to focus on the ones that are important leading into Mass Effect 2 and 3. Remind me when I return to the Normandy to go sell a bunch of stuff. I have way too much crap right now. I'd rather sell it than omnigel it. Man. Geth. It's a lot of Geth. Screwing around. Yeah, go for it, Jahan. Thank you for asking. I'll check it out after the stream. Cool. Alright. So it begins. Cool, thanks, man. That Firestorm is one of the better items you can get. Shotguns. Believe there's gonna be a bunch of Geth when we go outside. This seems familiar. So don't let me forget to sell a bunch of crap when we go back to the Normandy. Probably sell anything under a 7 in quality. Cool. What makes the one roll engine the one roll engine? Like, does it just use one die or something? The most radical like fate departure I've done is or fate departure, roll 20 departure is fate. It's easy to get stuck on these dragon teeth here, the Geth spires. If you're not careful when you're driving around on top. One more, right?
Three more of these outposts left to clear out? This should be fun.
Selling stuff, not forgetting. Yeah, so I guess Tali doesn't give you the quest. I googled it real quick after I noticed she wasn't giving it to you. You just do these 4 clusters, and you eventually find some Geth data, and you talk to her, and then that finishes the quest. Oh, sweet, man. Let me know how it goes. My plan for now, I'm gonna run our video game sprite D&D campaign again, probably in July. My target. I gotta spend June working on the adventure. I actually have less free time doing Twitch now than I did when I had a conventional job, because I'm actually like working. I'm doing Twitch for the full 6 hours of the stream, whereas when I worked my old job, like it was very much the office-based sort of situation. I only do so many minutes of real actual work.
Looking for supplies?
Let's see what you got.
You bet.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's just sell everything up through 6. Let's keep the 7+. Look at all this crap this game gives you. Mass Effect 2 does a much better job of streamlining the inventory and the things you get. It's still making it exciting to find stuff. You get too much in this game to be excited about anything. It's probably an upgrade. No, it's not really. Okay. Good as that's gonna get. We'll equip the other folks when we go to the next planet. Oh, have you done Fate before? Fates are a cool system. The basic idea behind the Fate system is that everyone just designs their character and they pick like 10 traits or aspects about the character that are cool. So like they might have a trait that says, I don't know, quick thinker, or like artifact master or something like that. And then whenever they want to, they can tag an aspect. They can say, hey, my character is a quick thinker, so she's going to do this thing. And then the fate die are really simple. It's just a flat good bonus, a neutral bonus, or a negative bonus, or well, a penalty in that case. So rather than like saying, oh, how many points are you going to put into thievery? If you want your character to be a thief, you just make up an aspect for him and call it, like cunning thief. And you get points when you tag aspects for something negative that's like, not productive for your character. It's really neat. It's a lot better suited for like collaborative storytelling rather than like the video gamey nature of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, we're gonna read that in a sec. That's the planet we have to land on, so we'll do it last. Good medallions. Atmosphere is very similar to Venus. Unlike Venus, the atmosphere has a significant quantity of oxygen, both free and bound in sulfur dioxide. It suggests the powerful solar winds from the terrascope of stars will blow off the atmosphere in a few million years. It's actually a binary star system, but they didn't map that out. It appears that most star systems are binary star systems. Seems very common for two stars to fall into each other's gravity well and orbit each other in the same center of gravity. Or their common center of gravity, to be precise. Cold terrestrial rolled in an atmosphere of methane and argon. Worlds have been noted as a possible target for long-term terraforming. If the atmosphere would be increased with the thickness of Earth's, global average temperature would rise by 10 degrees Celsius. Dangerous to explore on foot. Cool. That loading screen is the faster than light travel. That's how they wanted it to look. The blue shifted part. Anomaly. Yeah, that's okay. Just make sure I'm traveling in the right direction here. How's it going, Border? Not much over here, enjoying one of my favorite games of all time. Young adult Marstead is cringing at the fact that I'm skipping those resources there on the right and left. Just trying to move through this game at a brisk pace. We did not kill Odin. We got wiped by Odin. If anyone tuned in for that, turns out he doesn't use Zantetsuken when the timer runs out. He uses Zantetsuken like when he's at 5% health. He starts charging this ability, and you have to like burn him down really, really fast before the ability stops charging, or he wipes everybody. I've learned that today. Hey, it's an armature. What's up, buddy? They definitely make these Geth Colossi more threatening in Mass Effect 2. Part of that's not having a Mako. They responded to just about all of the criticism. Oh crap. Let me heal this ship. They responded to just about every piece of criticism from Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. It's like almost like they had a... Actually, I think they actually had a spreadsheet of people's complaints about Mass Effect 1. I remember reading this on the BioWare forums around the time Mass Effect 2 came out. I might die if I don't get out of town. Hold on. Yeah, Mako's not looking too great right now. Some for better and some for worse. Like, they got rid of the cool elevator conversations because all of the media was making fun of them for no reason, I think. I thought the elevator conversations were cool.
That's number 2. Let's hit the next base.
Will do, Rex. Will do. I got a pulse rifle, that's cool. I actually want some of that stuff. Yeah, I like that too, Mine for Fish. Right border. I mean, if you're going to have a loading screen anyway, you may as well get some character development during it, right? So I don't know why everyone gave Mass Effect so much shit for the elevator conversations. They were pretty cool. Hong. Homo is uncovered with broad, shallow seas. Right, this is our actual planet. Lacks a magnetic field. Energetic particles of solar wind from Hong strike the upper atmosphere, directly ionizing the krypton. This gives the planet its distinctive minty green-white hue. That's really cool. Terminus system, drive charge outpost. Casbin. Classical pre-garden terrestrial world with conditions similar to those on Earth millions of years ago. Hot human atmosphere. Increasing amount of surface is covered by simple lichen and algae. Should no unexpected calamity occur, these tiny plants will change the atmosphere to an Earth-like nitrogen-oxygen mix. Due to its potential for future habitability and sapient life, it has been designated a sanctuary world by the Citadel Council. Landings prohibited by law, and any disturbance of the fragile young ecosystem will result in harsh fines and imprisonment. I had to play Saints Row 4. That's the one where you're like the president and there are aliens and it's like super over the top, right? Yeah, so it's passing through a comet's debris trail. That's why there's the little meteor effects. It's kind of cool. Okay, the X, I think. Northeast. Sneak up over the top. There we go. Getting there. It's further east. Mako versus Skyrim horse. Mako will win every day. How far east is it here? On the opposite edge. Might be up on that ridge. Yeah, I think it's over that ridge. Actually, it might be down in this corner. We'll see. Ah. Get a drop ship here in a sec, I think. I don't know if the drop ship is itself destroyable. Possibly not. Maybe it is. I can see it has a health bar, but I thought it ran away before we could take it out.
Just one outpost left. I'm going to miss slaughtering death like this.
You kind of want to shoot at their feet.
We got them all, Shepard.
There we go. Alright, one more. Hey, hun. Welcome. No, sir, we've been doing Mass Effect. We'll keep playing through this one, Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Be doing Viewer's Choice tomorrow from 12 to 3 Pacific with the TurboGrafx 16. Okay, that's our land planet. Remember where this one looks pretty cool from the surface. Maji orbits the Vamshi binary giant stars. Vamshi A is a blue star, spectral class A4111, which burns at half again the temperature of Sol. It's our star. Vamshi B is an aging red giant. Maji has a thin atmosphere of methane and carbon monoxide. Unsavory characters from the Terminus system occasionally use this planet for forms of cruel sport, dumping slaves, hostages, quarreling shipmates, and even vicious animals on the surface. If I remember right, the view here is pretty cool. You might, if you're alt-tabbed, you might want to tab in for a sec just to check it out. I'll look up at it once we land, but it's got binary star. A lot of the planets and star artwork are from actual like NASA photos. Look at that, that's so cool. God, I love this game. We want to go north this time. Away from the pretty binary star system. Definitely more turrets up here, but I don't think I can see the other ones yet. Oh wait, there's still one up there. There we go. Cool. Whoa, what's up, buddies? Another dropship here? Oh, it's just a Colossus. May have missed some Geth data. I'll double check the internet after we finish this mission up.
Hold up. This receiver's picking up some kind of transmission. Based on the signal strength, I'd say it's coming from inside this star cluster.
It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and take them out. It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and take them out.
Can you say that one more time, Garrus? I'm not sure I caught it. Alright, so this last one is going to be what finishes out Tali's side quest. Then we'll do a couple Cerberus worlds. There's one world called Klendigan that looks really cool. It has a cool backstory. May or may not be important in later Mass Effects. There's a lot of planets that have little sweet BT dubs on the side details when you read their descriptions, like this one. But I definitely want to stop by Klendigan. Grissom. More astronauts. Astronauts and cosmonauts are the names of the star clusters in this system. Atmosphere is being blasted away by the solar wind. Oh, this is pretty sweet. Alright. Atmosphere is being blasted away by the solar wind. Surface consists of seas of loose silica dust, some kilometers deep, which periodically swirled into global sandstorms. Many unmanned probes to the planet have been lost. Though investigation is attributed to mechanical failure or computational error, a popular extranet meme insists the entire planet is composed of dormant nanotechnology, created millennia ago by a race even more advanced than the Protheans. According to the story, the silica dust is actually disassembler robots which periodically awaken to defend themselves. Though discounted by every reputable scientist, this theory has been popularized by a series of sensationalist texts by Asari author Dulce Ortiza. God, that's so awesome! A little throwaway, like that's a whole game right there. A sandy planet that's made up of tiny little nanomachines. God, I love this game. Oh, this is really cool. Antibaar is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of ammonia. Molecular nitrogen is present in the highest levels of the atmosphere, giving the planet its odd violet tint. The upper levels of the atmosphere are inhabited by shoals of tiny ammonia-based life forms, no larger or more complex than the plankton of Earth's oceans. Held aloft by air pressure and wind, these bioluminescent creatures constantly flee from the approach of the Terminator. Should they be exposed to the light and heat of the star, they die. That's so neat. You can kind of see them if you look really close on the star. You can see the bioluminescent plankton, and it's on a gas giant too. What a neat idea. The largest moon of this gas giant. So this is where this is, I think, is where the Geth outpost is. You should be able to see the gas giant from the surface. Really good view of the stars here too, no atmosphere. Gas giant. You can zoom in and see it swirling. Oh, it's so cool. It's another moon that's super close. There's a video you can find on the internet that's like, you know, what would, if the other planets in our solar system were as close to the Earth as the moon is to the Earth. I mean, assuming that we didn't all just die immediately from the force of gravity and other problems. But if they were, how big would they be on the horizon? I'll see if I can post a link at the end of stream or when I'm during a conversation or something. It's really neat. I forgot I can set destination. That's convenient. Gets to Jupiter and it's just like the whole sky. Oh god. Alright, found the video. Check this out. It's pretty cool. Good music in it too.
Cover me.
Gotten better at just automatically saving. Oh, that's awesome, Jayon. That's super cool. Sure they're using the right weapons. Nicely done, Rex. Believe that's true. That sounds correct anyway. People don't appreciate, one, just how far away it is, and two, just how friggin' amazing it is that we went there. It blows my mind. It's so cool. We went from inventing flight to walking on the moon and returning safely, which is the more amazing aspect. That's really cool, Jehan. I'm jealous.
Good, Shepard.
See if I can find my favorite picture of let's see. There's this really awesome picture of Neil Armstrong after they landed on the moon and while they were on the lander, before they were on their way home, where they're at the point where they don't even know if they're going to be able to make it home safely. It's just a really powerful picture. That's awesome, Jehan. I'm glad that you did the ISS too. Is that like an exponential growth thing, Kami? Hey, Aaron, how's it going? Hey, here's the Neil Armstrong picture that just blows my mind. This is one of my favorite like human pictures. You get a lot of context from that. Like he's on the lander. He's kind of gross because he's in a space chute, right? He hasn't showered. They don't know if they're gonna be able to make it home safely or not, but they've successfully made it to and walked on the moon. Best picture ever. I think that's Tali's terminal right there. Go ahead and use Omnigel. I know we've got so much of it. Cool. So Tali's side quest is done. That one's actually pretty important in Mass Effect 2, very important in Mass Effect 3 that you did it in Mass Effect 1. I'll explain why when we get to it. Awesome. Have you played through it before? Is it your first playthrough? We're going to do all three here on stream with viewers making decisions. Probably not too many decisions today. We're mostly just wrapping up the main side quest. We just did Vermeer, so we're close to the end of the game. Give that to Tali, and then we'll run and check out some of the Cerberus planets and Klendagen and see how much time we have left after that. Hey Sid McGeek, how's it going?
Shepard, I need to talk to you. It's important.
Is something wrong?
You know the data you took from those Geth control nodes? The information you uploaded to Alliance Control? I want to...
We voted to treat Tali as Paragon. Thank God. I may have overridden it if you had voted Renegade.
You want to bring this data back to the migrant fleet?
Those files have information that could be vital to our efforts to understand the Geth. It could be the key to helping us reclaim our homeworld.
Oh, amazing. That's the way to do it, Aaron Rhett. This is a good channel then. We're being very careful not to spoil anything from Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 3, so lips are sealed. We got some folks in chat who have never played Mass Effect before, so this is their first experience with the game.
If I give you this data, your pilgrimage is over. You'll go back to your own people.
Not right away. I'll stay with you as long as it takes to stop Seren. But my people need this.
You think you can use this information?
Importing everything to Mass Effect 3, you get all kinds of extra content you wouldn't have gotten if you just played it from scratch.
It could take years, But it will give us new insight into how the Geth have changed and evolved over the past centuries.
Go ahead, make a copy.
My people, I owe you a great debt, one I can never repay. The only thing I can offer in return is what you already have. My solemn promise to stay with you until Saren and his Geth armies are defeated.
I never wanted anything more.
Thank you, Shepard.
Alright, so let's go look for Cerberus side quest planet, and then check out Clendigan, and that should probably put us at time. Scheduled for the rest of this week while we're waiting on this elevator here. Tomorrow, 12 to 3 is TurboGrafx Day. TurboGrafx is that system nobody in the US ever really heard of. That was a major competitor to the Nintendo, to the Famicom in Japan. It's the Hudson system, so it has like, it's the home of Bomberman, Adventure Island, that sort of thing. And then from 3 to 7:30 we're doing more Final Fantasy XIV. Thursday and Friday we're bringing back Final Fantasy IX, Paper Mario. Let's see, and Mass Effect. Oh, Jayon, that's so cool. I'll have to do something with that, like that with my kid, when my wife and I eventually have kids. It really helps to give kids an intuition for that kind of thing. Talk about like how far away Andromeda is.
Commander. Patching it through.
We just received your report. Looks like this Geth incursion was bigger than we thought. They were probably preparing for a major offensive in the system. We're increasing patrols in the Armstrong cluster to make sure they can't establish another foothold in the region. Nice job, Shepard. You saved a lot of human lives on this mission. Hack it out.
Hack it out. Okay, so I think I have to read my journal to see where we have to go for these Cerberus missions. They're mind-blowing with the model. Yangtze in the Voyager cluster, okay. Let me do this one while we're here, it's pretty fast. I'm a Vanguard.
Message coming in, Commander. Big surprise, the Alliance needs you again.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett with Alliance Command. We've got a mission for you. An Alliance officer named Major Kyle has set up a small compound in the Hulking Edda cluster. He's attracted a number of followers, mostly biotics. He's become an outspoken critic of the Alliance, and we believe he's mentally unstable. This could be trouble, Shepard.
What kind of proof do you have that the Major is dangerous?
3 days ago, we sent 2 Alliance representatives to meet with him at his compound. They've disappeared. We believe Kyle and his followers killed them. That compound is a cult, Shepard. They call him Father Kyle now.
I am a Vanguard.
Some kind of religious leader.
You said his followers were biotics?
Yes. Major Kyle never showed any biotic tendencies himself, though. I think he's just latched onto a group he identifies with. Many biotics feel marginalized or ostracized by society. Kyle probably sees them as victims who need his protection, and they see him as someone who will fight for them. Unfortunately, he's convinced them that the Alliance is somehow responsible for all their problems. We can't let him go on like this.
What were those Alliance representatives going to talk to Major Kyle about?
They wanted to bring him back to an Alliance facility for treatment. Major Kyle served us faithfully for many years. We weren't going to abandon him. Given his state of mind, however, he probably saw them as a threat. We're almost certain he had his followers killed him.
What else can you tell me about Major Kyle?
He used to be a model soldier, but something happened to him at Torfin. Too many Alliance soldiers died under his command. Couldn't cope with the guilt. His psych evaluations showed he couldn't handle the stress of command anymore. He was given an honorable discharge in early retirement. We'd hoped he would get better in time, but we underestimated how far gone he was. Now,
If you play the Soul Survivor background, then this mission is like pretty important to the Soul Survivor Shepard. That's cool, Aaron. When you play Mass Effect 2, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they give you a chance to change your class, so if you decide to change it, it might make sense too. I'll talk about that when we actually start Mass Effect 2.
Without violence.
That may not be possible, Commander. We don't want a bloodbath, but Kyle is dangerous. I'll trust you to use your judgment. Hack it out.
Oh, that's cool, Jehan. Yeah, so like, what blows my mind is you think about, you try to grasp the speed of light in comparison to the speeds that we're comfortable with as humans, and then you realize that it would take 8 minutes for light from the sun to reach us. So if the light suddenly winked out of existence, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes. That gives you an idea how far away it is. That's amazing. Very humbling. Alright, Sean, if you want biotics, you have your party members do it. Alright, Klendigan is an arid terrestrial slightly larger than Earth, but with a lower density that reflects its relative lack of heavier elements. Klendigan's most striking feature, of course, is the Great Rift Valley that stretches across the southern hemisphere. What is most fascinating about the rift is it does not appear to be natural. The geological record suggests it is a result of a glancing blow by a mass accelerator round of unimaginable destructive power. This occurred a long time ago, 37 million years ago. Remember this planet and remember what it looks like. It might just come up, even though this is just like a random little side mission. The fact that there's this Klendigan planet with this glancing blow mass accelerator round from 37 million years ago may come up in a later Mass Effect. Nice, Sean. He was like, okay, you guys are flying around. It's fun. I'll take it. Let's check this out. It says that there's a big rift valley on the planet from when a mass accelerator round glanced off of it. You see it? Now, extra interesting, that's actually just the planet Mars. Like Google Mars, the planet. This is a NASA image of the planet Mars that's been, I think it's flipped upside down and then it's been color corrected. But that's why it looks so convincing, the texture on it, because it's actually just Mars, but they reused it. I like that they have this big valley on Mars, and they're like, that looks like that could be a glancing blow from some kind of weapon. Super cool. Oh, let me just mark my destination, huh? Yeah, that's how I did it, Aaron. I did male Paragon, female Renegade. This one is viewers have decided and voted on everything about Shepard, so it's FemShep, mostly Paragon. Yeah, I hear you, Sean. This is probably a great game to work on. So cool. I know, right? Oh, I love Mass Effect. Renegade Femchep is pretty perfect. Jennifer Hale is an excellent voice actress. You guys watch my Bioshock Infinite series, I have to take it back. Jennifer Hale is in the game. She's the voice of Rosalind Lutece. She is not the voice of Elizabeth. It's Elizabeth and Booker are both voiced by previously unknown voice actors, like two musicians. So I misunderstood and thought that it was actually Jennifer Hale doing multiple voices in the game. Right, Sean? Paragon versus Renegade is an interesting. I like that versus like good versus evil or light side versus dark side. It's like,
This is a private sanctuary.
do you just do what
Outsiders
needs to
are
be
not
done?
welcome here.
I need to talk to the man in charge. It's important.
Father Kyle wants nothing more to do with the Alliance.
I want this to end peacefully. If he doesn't see me, people could get hurt.
We won't let you take Father Kyle away. He protects us. We need him.
The Alliance wants someone to pay for those murders. Let me speak to Major Kyle and maybe I can find some way to help you all get out of this alive.
Wait. Father Kyle will speak with you. Head to the building at the far end of the compound. He'll meet you there.
Because I did that Paragon, they just sent me to the building over here. Otherwise, I would have had to go on in and kill everyone, basically. Trying to follow Admiral Hackett's recommendations and not make it a big bloodbath. Sure thing, mate. Oops, sorry.
Those other men from the Alliance tried to kill Father Kyle.
If you try to take Father Kyle away from us...
I ain't taking away Father Kyle. So if you're the sole survivor background, Father Kyle actually knows you.
You'll end up like those other Alliance soldiers.
I have so much extra Omnigel, I'm just gonna use it. No decisions. Today's pretty much just been side quest day. Finished up tallies. Next time we have decisions will probably be the next time we play, which I think right now on the schedule is going to be Thursday.
I am Major Kyle. I know why you've come. We have no quarrel with you. Why can't you just leave?
Yeah, so Sean, being careful not to spoil the series, I think the decisions are interesting in and of themselves without knowing what the consequences are. It would have been better if they had the ability to program and include more consequences for those decisions, but doing so would have been a massive undertaking. If you made, depending on your decision with the Thorian, for example, in Mass Effect 1, if that really had gigantic game-altering consequences, they'd have to make two different games based on whether you helped or didn't help the Thorian. It's almost like they were trying to make a tabletop game into a video game. So it's tough. I like what they did with it, but I can still appreciate the choices as you make them, even knowing that the consequences aren't all that different, just because it would have been very hard for them to make two completely different games. Anyway, back to the game.
What happened to those other Alliance officers? The ones who came before me?
They wanted to take me away from here. They wanted me to abandon this place, turn my back on my family. They spoke blasphemy. I did what I could to make their end quick and painless. I had no other choice. It was necessary to protect my children. Only I can keep them safe.
The Alliance sent me to bring you in, Major. Can't you see this has gotten out of hand? Don't you understand you are endangering your followers?
I respect that you have come under a banner of peace, but I cannot do as you ask. If you take away their father, my children will be helpless.
In a little bit more detail, yeah. This is the... Here, I'll finish this conversation. I'll talk about it on my way to my next planet.
You ordered your followers to kill those Alliance investigators. You must face the consequences of your actions. Do you really want your children to suffer for your sins too?
No, this was my fault. My children are innocent, pure. Please, I never meant for this to happen. I'm sorry.
You're doing the right thing, Major. Your children will be better off for it. Come on.
Wait, if my children see you taking me away, they won't understand. They will attack and you will be forced to kill them all. You have shown me the error of my ways, Commander. Now you must give me time to explain it to them. It is the only way they will understand. Please, give me 1 hour. After that, I will meet the Alliance authorities at the gates of my compound and surrender without violence. I give you my
All right.
word.
I'm gonna trust you. If you betray that trust, you and all your children will suffer.
I will not betray you, Commander. Thank you for this.
Your pilot can have an Alliance Command Patrol pick Major Kyle up. I just hope you know what you're doing, Shepard.
Yeah, so Marstead, narrative uncertainty principle. Before you know how a story ends and before you know how your decisions in a Mass Effect game are going to play out, the superposition of all possibilities is way cooler than whatever ending or choice they actually end up deciding on. So even if they had spent 20 years making Mass Effect 2 and 3, it wouldn't have been as cool as just like, oh man, I'm making this cool decision. I chose to save Kaidan instead of Ashley. Like, imagine all the possibilities of the different things that could happen as a result of that change, you know? Alright, let's roll.
Message coming in.
Is it Hackett? Hackett out.
Admiral Hackett here, Commander. Your helmsman just forwarded your report on Major Kyle. We sent in a team as you instructed. Kyle's followers have disbanded, and the Major surrendered to us without incident. We'll make sure he gets the help he needs. To be honest, Shepard, I thought this thing was going to end in a bloodbath. I don't know how you did it, but you saved a lot of lives. Congratulations.
Alright, let's do the Cerberus missions. Lexi and Voyager. Hack it out. Yeah, so we got Shepard, Rex, hack it out. Yeah, all the clusters in this system are named after rivers. Love that. I think there's a couple more if you get some more side quests. I think this is the last side quest we'll do, and then we'll just be all main story from here. Curse of Charisma, right? Alright, here we go. Let's see. Man. Kinds of Cerberus research facilities here. Let me just mark one to start with. Go, and let's take a look. Alright, so remember... Sounds good, Aaron. Godspeed, have fun in your playthrough. Remember, Cerberus, we found out, is this human terrorist organization. They're like aggressively pro-human, like to the detriment of all other alien races. I like, for the story, Mass Effect 1, for the gameplay, Mass Effect 2, overall, Mass Effect 2. Particularly Mass Effect 2 before going through the Omega Relay, without any spoilers. Not because what was beyond the Omega Relay wasn't cool, but because like the narrative uncertainty principle, like at that time I was so immersed in the game, like it was like this anything can happen kind of a thing. Oh, interesting, there's a little Rachni in here. Yeah, Cerberus is named for the guard dog of Hades. Not to be confused with the hellish guard dog in Norse mythology, Garm. Both of which are typical appearances in RPGs. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. They're a little bit more sophisticated than the KKK. The snake. Remember these little Cerberus side missions in Mass Effect 1? And then the Mass Effect 2 novel is all about Cerberus. And I was like, man, they're really focusing on this little thing from Mass Effect 1. Novels are pretty good. Just the ones written by Drew Karpyshyn, the main Mass Effect writers. Right, there you go. Time to leave? You didn't tell me this town was haunted. Alright, so there's some Thorian creepers. Looks like they're experimenting on the Rachni. Thorian creepers. We imported some thorium samples from Pharos.
Let's head to that next phase, Shepard. This is my kind of
Yeah, I was sad when Drew left BioWare. He was great. Drew Karpyshyn's one of my favorite writers. Hey, Case, you're welcome. He was really the soul behind Mass Effect. Actually, a lot of the BioWare team just had the soul beat out of them after EA absorbed them and kind of destroyed them in a lot of ways. Save real quick now, I'm thinking about it. And me with biotics now. Congrats, Ryan. As you look forward to your first death. Man, these are called Rachni. We'll talk more about the Rachni when we go to Novaria. They have some kind of weird creature here is all you need to know for now.
Shepard, over here. It's Kahoku.
I guess Cerberus found him after all.
Executed Kahoku. It's the guy where Cerberus set up his men, basically. Okay, we've got Cerberus's main facility now. Ready? Go wrap this up. This is our last side quest planet. Then we can move along with the main plot. I can think of one other place we could go for side quests if this doesn't take us to time. Yeah, see, they're all named after rivers in this cluster. It's really cool. The Yangtze is the Yellow River in China. Which is a hothouse terrestrial world with a dense atmosphere of nitrogen. Very hot and tectonically active, and you can tell from how bright it is. Wow. And this is where the Cerberus base is. We'll do that last. Again, for asteroids, sometimes you can see them shining. Definitely prefer the scanning system in Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. Oh, that's really cool. Prior to the Alliance's expansion into this cluster, this planet hosted one half of a Turian interferomic telescope array, connected with a similar telescope in the Attican Beta cluster by an expensive chain of FTL comboys. The two functioned as a single virtual lens with an effective aperture equal to thousands of light years between them. They used this to chart the terminal system with great accuracy. That's so cool. And technically possible. Usually large ice world. Recent extranet memes suggest that a Prothean ship crashed through the crust of the planet before the collapse of their empire, and might still be recovered from the planetary core. This is reportedly the source of the planet's unusually high mass. Careful mapping of the gravity field by orbiting satellites have proved that the planetary core is entirely normal. Entries related to this are sparse in the database. I wonder why, if like Black Ops, military, terrorist, racist organization Cerberus is here. Right, Aaron? Pretty much. Isn't that always true in video games? Do you agree to do quests that basically makes you an errand boy? Random people on the street ask you for their advice on whether they should give their kid gene therapy. Yeah, I guess I don't know. How do you do that without ruining the suspension of disbelief? It's certainly interesting to have conversations like that and have errands that you run and like immerse you in the world that way, but it does kind of pull you out of it when you're like, would my character really be doing all these little dinky side missions? Shepard. Anti-tank, huh? He's on around the back side of this thing. Right, Kami. Alright, so this is the last Cerberus mission. Remember Cerberus, the human Black Ops terrorist organization. All you need to know. Super pro-human.
I will destroy you! I will destroy you!
Yeah, go ahead and destroy me.
I will destroy you!
Go, go, go! Hold the line!
Yeah, you channeled Kirihiri there.
I will destroy you! I will destroy you!
Exactly. Oh god, oh god.
I'm on it!
Backing up, not getting sniped in the face. Whew. Not letting that happen again. Phew! Some more points in the barrier. I might do Dirge Cerberus on stream eventually, by the way. No, Crisis Core has gotten better reviews in general, but I've never played Dirge Cerberus, so. Press V buttons and alarm chimes. The optical data is flashing itself quickly. You copy as many files as you can to your hard suit's internal computer. It's memory wipe. The computer shuts down. The files are sure to be encrypted, but if you got time to crack them. Okay, so that should carry over into Mass Effect 2 and 3 now. Cool, we got 13 minutes left, so I'm gonna go try to do one more planet. That's kind of neat. It's a little side planet. I don't think it actually carries over into Mass Effect 2 or 3, but it's just pretty cool that they have it. At 6 p.m. I'll be ending the stream, so another 12 minutes.
Transmission coming in, Commander. I think you're going to want to hear this one.
Greetings, Commander Shepard. I represent a party interested in obtaining information on Cerberus activity.
So this is interesting. Talking about Cerberus. My favorite character is probably Tali. If I can't say Shepard, like my particular Shepard, that's my favorite character. But Tali after that.
Who are you, and who do you represent?
Who I am is inconsequential. Suffice to say, I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. You see, Admiral Kahoku contacted my employer looking for information on the location of any Cerberus facilities. We provided that information on the promise that he would turn over copies of all files gathered from the Cerberus systems to us.
Did you have anything to do with Admiral Kahoku ending up dead?
We had no reason to harm him. He was going to provide us with information about Cerberus. Information that is now in your possession.
Yep, when I do sign off in about 10 minutes, I'll explain what's
must
coming
have
up
some
for
connection to
the rest of
Cerberus.
this week, including
How
tomorrow.
else could you tell Kahoku where to find them?
Information is our business, Commander. Through our contacts, we were able to determine that the Cerberus group was active in the Voyager cluster. Unfortunately, that was all we were able to find out. That is why we are so interested in acquiring copies of the files from you.
These are classified Alliance files. I'm not handing them over to you.
Be reasonable, Commander. Cerberus was operating outside Alliance jurisdiction. You don't owe them any loyalty. The Alliance is just going to file this information away in some archive. No secret stays hidden forever. Eventually, someone somewhere will deliver it into our hands. Might as well be you. Transmit the files to us and you will be well compensated.
My loyalty is to the Alliance, not the Shadow Broker.
That is unfortunate, Commander. My employer will remember this the next time you need something from us.
Too bad, so sad. I'm giving over Cerberus data. Deal with it.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Normandy, this is Alliance Command. We're detecting your presence in the Attican Beta
Correct.
Cluster. One of our surveillance drones was gathering intel on Geth activities in the region when it was spotted and shot down. You need to go groundside and recover the drone's data module before the Geth find it.
Sure. Boring Rock World, got it. Network of cave systems. Life flourishes because it's protected from the heat of the star. So this thing we're going to do here, I don't know a lot of people who have seen it. Like, the only people I know who have gotten to this part that I'm going to show you guys are people who have exhaustively 100%ed Mass Effect 1, because it's something that you normally wouldn't find if you were really just like going out of your way to explore every planet like I did. So check this out, this is pretty neat. Eletania is a world eminently suited for colonization. Appearances are deceiving. It's covered by a verdant carpet of mosses, algae, and lichen and possesses a thick oxygenated atmosphere, but the animal kingdom is a web of microscopic symbiotic creatures. They are impossible to filter from the air and necessary for the native life to thrive. Unfortunately, they also cause anaphylactic shock when inhaled by non-native life, so it's like asbestos creatures. In short, settlement requires either fully sealed environment suits or replacement of the entire world's ecosystem. Some have proposed limited colonization at altitudes above the symbiote's range or in areas where favorable winds keep the air clear. I'm boring into a rock planet with my drill. I don't know. This sequence is very Dungeons and Dragons. Like, it's all going to be text. There's not going to be like a cutscene. It's just going to be text describing something here. Yeah, Direk, I don't think you were on. There was a planet we ran by earlier. The description said, "Oh, check this out. This planet has rings." Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even notice the rings when we landed. That's awesome. I'm an asbestos creature. Right, here's the secret thing. Now, interestingly, you can only do this secret if you did the mission on the Citadel. Remember the Asari Consort? The Asari Consort gave us a little trinket that she said was a meaningless bauble, and this is the planet where you use that trinket if you got it. Like I said, I don't think this carries over to Mass Effect 2 or 3. Awesome, Aaron. Knights of Pen and Paper. What is it? Is it a system? Another thing that's kind of discouraging for someone just like exploring planets to find this, you gotta climb through all this bullshit mountain to get to it. Oh cool, I didn't even see the moon over here. It's awesome. Oh cool. Alright, so since this is all text, I'll just read it aloud. Try to take it slow. Check out this cool little metal orb. What's the deal with this?
En route.
Prothean Ruin. Sweet, I'll check it out, Kami. Maybe I'll watch a video for it or something. Pay $6 for a good game. Look at all this text. Okay. Examining the strange Prothean artifact reveals a small, irregular slot on the underside of the surface. Remembering the strange trinket you received from the Asari consort on the Citadel, you pull it out and place it into the slot. The ball explodes in a brilliant flash of white light, momentarily blinding and disorienting you. Slowly, your senses return to you as you wake from a deep sleep. You are alone in the forest, although you are not far from the caves you share with the others of your tribe. There is a pain and a small lump in the back of your skull, as if a chip of flint has been forced under the surface of the skin. Leaning on your bone-tipped spear for support, you rise to your feet. A sound draws your attention upwards, where a strange creature hovers high above you. It is unlike the birds you hunt by the lake's edge. It has no head and no wings, yet somehow it flies. It's a beast of shining silver, hanging motionless in the sky like a cloud. You sense it is watching you, studying you. Raising a hairy fist, you shake your spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfied grunt, you make your way back to the caves and the rest of the tribe. You fall into the familiar patterns of life: the hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there is the sensation that you're not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump at the back of your skull, and you remember that silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder. Winter falls. You must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is on one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it, its call a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down on you. A single great eye opens on the underbelly, a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Eletania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you, undamaged, and your companions standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There is a flash of light, and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. Are you okay, Shepard? The other asks. You don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen. The memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter, captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they learn from us? I'm fine, you finally reply, realizing this is a mystery you will probably never solve. Forget about it. Oh my god, that's just on a random planet in a random corner if you did a random side quest that led up to it. That's so cool to just be in the middle of nowhere. Little bits of flavor here and there. Alright, so we're gonna head back to Normandy, we'll save, and I'll do a quick sign off, summarize what's coming up for the rest of this week. It's very like text adventure-y. Alright, so tomorrow is Wednesday, 12 to 3. We're doing TurboGrafx free play day. TurboGrafx is a system that was not very common among Westerners. It was known in Japan as the PC Engine. Hudson made it. Hudson is a company that makes Bomberman, perhaps most famously. Konami also made a lot of games for the TurboGrafx. So we'll be doing, viewers can vote on the games we play if you happen to know some TurboGrafx games you want to see. If you don't, I'll just be playing some of my favorites from the system. We'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV with more of the main story tomorrow in the evening as well. Thursday, Friday, we're playing more Final Fantasy IX, Paper Mario, and Mass Effect. It's very likely we're going to beat Mass Effect on, well, maybe not Friday, but early next week. We're very close to the end of the game. We don't have any more side quests to do. As soon as we beat Mass Effect, we're booting up Mass Effect 2 immediately, so no worries on that. Saturday morning, there's more Final Fantasy XIV, and then next week continuing with more Okami, Final Fantasy V, Mass Effect, and the games I just listed. So thanks, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.